finished watching season 10, episode 1. I know I'm a little bit behind, but life been life and I've been super busy. And then I was apprehensive as to whether or not I was going to continue on with Sistas. Did you see what I saw? Okay. Did you see what I saw? It was crazy. It was crazy. This episode took me a few different places. Number one, the first issue I had, and you guys, if you don't know, I'm a writer. I've written quite a few books. So I see things, okay? I try not to be too critical, but that's what we do. Anyway, moving forward, there was a lot of bad writing in this episode. I'll explain as I go along. If you hear pages turning, that's because I have written a lot of notes this time. I've written a lot of notes, and I hope that after this episode that I'll be back because this was a mess. It was a mess. I'm going to try to hang in here with you guys. But anyway, opening scene, Andy's car blows up. The reaction was very unrealistic. Okay. When I was a little girl, my mother said, don't do any firecrackers, but I had a friend who lived around the corner and her parents were very liberal. And so when I was with them, when in Rome, okay, so my friend gave me the firecracker and she lit it and then she told me to throw it. But instead of just throwing it, I pulled it back to throw it. I didn't just drop it out of my hand and let it go. So in pulling it back, it blew up, like it popped in my ear. Okay. My ear was ringing for days. And my ear was hurting. Somewhere inside, my ear was hurting, but it was ringing for days. Now here we are. We have Andy, who was headed to her car, and it blew up. Now, people didn't know if she was in the car or not, but she's headed to her car. She was not in the car. She lands on the ground because it blew up prior to her getting all the way to the car. So now she's laying on the ground. There's no smoke stains or anything. Okay, we can move beyond that. But she wasn't shaken up enough. No tears. She didn't come to and cry. Her first reaction was she was a little zoned out for a second. And then she jumps up and just was like, oh, what happened to my car? My God, like, girl, whatever. The car is not important. But anyway, so that right there, that was the first thing. Bad writing off the tip, like bad writing right out the gate. I ain't like it. But anyway, Rich shows up with a bat because he heard a noise and he thought that something was going down. A bat versus an explosion? There's nothing that could have been that loud that would make for somebody to go get a bat. That was ridiculous. And to only find out that he was in the restroom. That was bad writing because why? It wasn't time for a joke. I know this is a comedy, but that right there was a dramatic and traumatic scene. But anyway, so Zack and his dad, okay, that's his dad, and we found that out in the last episode of season 10, that that's actually his dad. I knew something was going on with that, but I'm sorry, we'll get to her. Fatima found out that that's his dad because she overheard him on a conversation before he actually walked into the barbecue cookout that Zack and Fatima were having. Now, last season, she was upset about it. She wanted to tell Zack, but she was pretty much giving Mr. Keys, I believe is his name, an opportunity to tell Zack. Now, I don't know how I would have handled it had I been at the barbecue and I was her, okay? I think I would not have pushed it. Maybe I would have stepped to the side and I would have spoken to Mr. Keys, but I definitely would have told Zack at the end of the night. But that didn't happen. And there's no space for it to happen at this point. But we will get to that. So Zack and his dad are trying to figure out how this explosion happened. What caused it. Okay, look, just stop. Let the police and the detectives do their job. Let them do the job because they're standing there like some investigative reporters trying to figure it out. That was bad writing to me. It just was not emotional enough. Meanwhile, back at the cookout. We back at the cookout and everybody's just like sitting around. Paige calls Maurice, who's with Dylan, Paige's brother, and we know all this from last season. But she calls him because she does not have the key to the vault. So he has to show up to help Paige out. Now here we have everybody sitting around at the table. You would have thought that Andy would have gone to the hospital. I certainly wanted to after just as little as a firecracker blew up next to my ear. She didn't go. And that right there, that was bad writing. But we also got to try to figure out what was the cause of that explosion. But anyway, guys, this episode, it just had me all over the place, just like with my notes. Why all of a sudden is Pam and Maurice besties? Now, this has been building for a while. They're supposed to be going into business, taking over Karen's shop because Karen and Aaron left. And Danny's supposed to be part of the business owners. What? Why? That makes no sense to me. All of a sudden they are best friends. They could have kept that. Everybody's asking where Sabrina is because Sabrina is a show up type of girl, but nobody can find her. But you know what got me is, why are people so concerned about Danny's mood after what just happened with Andy and them worried about Sabrina? Why is that a thing? Why was that a thing? Like I said, this was bad writing all the way around, because why would they even care? It shouldn't have even been apparent that something was wrong with Danny. Danny should have been more concerned with what was going on with Andy and why this happened and how this could have affected everybody. But anyway, moving forward, this episode at this point irritated me. They were all sitting at the table like nothing happened. Just Andy's playing with her food. Fatima's actually eating. It was just a mess. Why? But furthermore, Maurice is still concerned about Sabrina. He's really concerned. But then he's looking for her. I'm sorry, guys, for the long break. I'm looking at my notes. He's looking for her. He goes to the hospital. They're not giving him any information. Why was the front desk person so rude? Always rude. I've been the front desk girl before, and being happy just makes your day just move smoothly. But anyway, the officer, the sleazy officer, he shows up. Now, the first thing that came to my mind, because I saw the last episode, was that Sabrina was perhaps slightly inebriated from the night before. I know she was on her way to tell Rich that she wanted to be back with him, but could she have been slightly inebriated? I can't remember if she was out all night, if she went home. I don't remember, because it was daytime when she was on the phone with Danny, and they kind of like just got off the phone. So I'm just wondering, is that the reason for the accident? But I think that maybe that'll come out later, or with the writing that they're doing, maybe it will never come out. But anyway, so Andy, she's just thinking that Dr. Cruz may have had something to do with this. Dr. Cruz did, his sliminess was uncovered at the law firm last season. So now they know who he is. And he may very well be extra upset with Andy, but we don't know if he did this. Gary, he supposedly changed his whole disposition and everything. Last season, he came around to make pizza. We don't know if he's responsible for that. And maybe nobody's thinking that. I'm just putting it out there. So it's a cross between him and Dr. Cruz. But the thing is, it's so obvious, it's probably neither one of them. It really is. It's probably neither one. I don't think Penelope would be that angry, but I don't know. Andy doesn't really have enemies, so I don't know what Tyler Perry is doing with that. But moving on, they go on to talk about Andy needing a car after this happened. Now, how did Mom get to the cookout? Did they ride together? Anyway, however it goes, they're rich. Andy is rich. So now Fatima's getting ready to reserve you a car. Okay, I guess online, on the phone. She's going to reserve you a car, which was unnecessary. Now, Mr. Keys is getting ready to take Andy and her mom to the car rental place that closes in an hour. This is what I mean about the writing. Why are you going to the car rental place? First of all, you should be shaken up. Your mom should be shaken up. Everybody should be shaken up. But now we have Mr. Keys getting ready to take them to get a car, which an hour left open. You're not going to be able to get a car. Okay, I've been renting cars. An hour left, no. But anyway, why didn't they call a car? They could have had a car delivered. Bad writing. Bad writing. Anyway, moving on. And yes, I'm pulling out my critical thinking skills, but that was bad writing. And I said this before, Fatima has dealt with a lot and she's still dealing with it. I will say this, part of Fatima's character, I believe is who she really is because of how positive she is in real life. So I believe that that's it. But she never loses her cool. She never breaks down. It's just too, in this case, just too positive. But she's had too much drama for somebody to be pregnant. And I said this a couple of seasons ago, y'all. She's had too much drama for somebody to be pregnant. And it hasn't affected anything. Where are the emotions? You're pregnant. And she's still not showing it, and Zack. And sisters, please don't get on the comments talking about, well, it's more than, it's a different writer and blah, blah, blah. Different or not. Come on, it's time. I haven't watched Fatima, and I really have no interest, guys. My appetite is soured against this. I'm trying to hang in here because y'all know how I used to love Sistas, but it's too much. I think, before I go on, a lot of people are turning away from Sistas because of the changes, because we lost 2 sisters and he brought in 2 new sisters. But I think that what they should have done, and a few people that I've spoken to agree, that sometimes you have to just let a good thing be a good thing, and that's it. We're all supposed to have good memories. Let a good thing be a good thing instead of drawing it out like I think that they're doing. Once they let Karen go and Sabrina's on her way out of here, and I'm assuming that Karen has other projects because she's been doing some things. And I've seen Sabrina in a few different movies. So I don't know, but Sabrina did make a post about moving on. So that could be some dig in there. But anyway, I think Tyler Perry should let a thing be a thing. He's busy enough. But anyway, moving forward, I just wanted to say that I should have probably saved that for the end. But anyway, so I'm sorry, guys, I'm going over my notes. So they run into Maurice and Dylan do run into the officer, this little sleazy officer, and he is telling them, he's giving them a little bit of information about what he's dealing with and how they should handle the situation, but he's not knowing what happened. Maurice is so upset. He's just like, okay, how do we know that this is not my friend? The sleazy officer doesn't realize that he is giving them information. Okay, Tony, no, I'm sorry. The sleazy officer thinks he still has a chance with Danny. I don't know why. You just got into an entire fight with Tony. I don't know who won. Okay, I was watching. This was last season, I believe, last episode. I don't know who won. But moving on, I don't know why he thinks that he has any claims, because that right there is dead in the water. That's done. But anyway, so Tony comes over to Danny's. Danny's at home. She invites him over because she wants to talk. And I'm assuming, because it never really got there, that she's trying to talk to him about what happens and how she wants to be with him. Now, I didn't realize that they didn't really break up. I thought that it was over and she was doing what she was doing. Now, I do know that when you, and this is a little rule, if you break up with somebody, you have to wait so long before you can move on. She moved on right away. I thought that they broke up, but it seems that they didn't. However, we do know that Tony had taken some money from Danny, $10,000. He did replace it, but why? What happened to all his monies? Not money, his monies. What happened to all of them? We know that he has developed a bit of a gambling habit. But anyway, I just want to know, guys, when did Tony turn into a YN? Because he's giving YN behavior. I don't get it. But anyway, moving forward. Now, he's already found out through Paige that Sabrina has been in this terrible car accident. He's in shock. Dylan is there to console him, to kind of be there for him, not kind of be there for him, be there for him, to encourage him to, everything's going to be okay. I got your back. I'm here. Now, on that part, I must say, and my nose is still a little runny, I did shed a tear or two based on Maurice's reaction. That's it. I didn't like how Paige hurried up and got off the phone like she had to get back to work, but I guess the show must go on. But anyway, so the first thing Maurice is thinking is, I need to call the girls, which to me made sense because it was nothing he could do with carrying the weight of what happened on his own back. Call the girls. And so the first person he called was Danny. Now, at this point, Danny's in this conversation with Tony. Immediately, he gives Danny the information and she's like, ugh. He calls Andy and does the same thing with Andy. Now, Andy's mother had kind of pissed me off because, first of all, you came from out of nowhere and you shaking up things and running the show. When your child gets so old, come on. You're going to always be her mother. But come on, let her make her own decisions. You have infiltrated her place. We do realize that you have cancer, and that's fine. Come stay with me. Let me take care of you. Let me enjoy these years if they should end. Now, here comes Andy's sister. She just done got into the penthouse. How'd she get into the penthouse? How? But she comes in, and she's cute. She's one of the new sisters. She comes in. Obviously, her and Andy have bad blood. I'm so tired of seeing sisters having bad blood. Is there any sisters out there that just really connect and get along? But anyway, these two have bad blood in his own. I'm sorry, guys. Andy is the one that's like, okay, I think she's more mature. And the sister probably really did burn her. But the sister's there. She's making herself at home and she's not going anywhere. But anyway, so Andy's sitting at the table with her mom. Her mom is telling her that she didn't eat. She should eat. She gets the phone call from Danny. She has to immediately, I'm trying to think, did she get it from Danny? Yeah, she got it from Danny because Maurice had been calling her also. But she gets the phone call from Danny. Everybody meets up at the hospital. Maurice, of course, is there first. Everybody meets up at the hospital. I'm watching reactions. I cried when Danny found out. I didn't cry when Andy found out because it happened right after Sabrina found out. So there was no time to have like a new cry. So it just kind of like ran together. The tears ran together. But anyway, so everybody's at the hospital. I'm just kind of like, everybody was in shock, but I expected them to just grab each other and start hugging. Andy saw Dr. Vaughn. Now, there was some bad blood between Dr. Vaughn in the last season, but I don't remember what it was. But I do remember that he helped Dr. Cruz cover up something. But I don't know if that was resolved. I don't know, but we'll soon find out. But he shows up. They just kind of run into each other at the hospital. She comes to him and she hugs him. And he's like, is everything okay? What's wrong? Are you okay? But it was kind of like it was empty. It was like a clean break, and we didn't see him further consoling her. That was weird to me. That was weird. I appreciated how Tony was there for Danny. It's like the breakup never happened. We don't have time for this. I love you. I'm here to support. Let me call Rich, because Sabrina was on her way to tell Rich that she wanted to be back together. So Rich is going to find out. He's going to be devastated, but moving forward. Um, Fatima and Zack show up. And Fatima and Sabrina did have a bit of a bond. Like, she just helped Sabrina deal with something. So they did have a bit of a bond. But anyway, they've been connected for all this time. But her and Zack show up. And of course, Fatima is positive about everything. I liked, and I always love how close Zack and Danny are. I always love that. So he's trying to control her and telling her not to go too far. Now, we already know that Sabrina is in critical condition. I believe that's what they said. But anyway, the doctor tells the nurse that Sabrina is not going to make it. And if she does, she's going to need a lot of therapy. I just was like, okay, really? Let's talk about closed head injury or closed head injury, possible paralysis, not remember her name. I mean, just bad writing. You did no research. You've never known anybody to be seriously injured so that you can build this storyline on that. Yeah, that was kind of like, who wrote this part? Which one of you writers need to be hit on the fingers with the ruler? But anyway, so let's get to it, guys. I'm happy, and Zack and Fatima talked about this, how they were happy that Karen had already left the premises. Her and baby Faith and Aaron rode off into the sunset. Karen came to the realization that Aaron really loves her. He's the best one for her. He's a good father to Faith, and that she really does love him. I was kind of, when they were leaving, I just was like, does she really love him like that for real? Or is she finally like, okay, I appreciate him. He really loves me, and this is where I need to be. That could very well be it. Karen and Aaron just pulled off before the explosion. So they just made it. They really just made it. But I'm glad that they're moving on with their lives. And Lisa has been assigned to that area. So she's just a little ways away from where Aaron and Karen will be living, so she can help them with the baby and just continue to be a part of the baby's life. I'm trying to see if I have covered everything. I think I did, and I did things in such a way without really using my notes. Anyway, so moving forward, as I stated, I believe there was a lot of bad writing here. Now, moving on into the next episode, Sabrina has to die, at some point. So I'm assuming that next episode she'll die. Or, we know how they do, she might live into the end of the season. The end, well, to mid-season. But we know that she's going to die. They will draw it out, guys. Now, something's going to happen next episode. Andy's going to call Karen and tell her what happened. I don't know if Karen is going to say that she's going to double back, because she's not going to double back, I don't think. But she is going to tell her, in fairness, something else is going to happen, but I don't remember what it is, and I didn't write it down. But it was a big thing. But anyway, guys, I don't remember. I'll have to watch it. Like I said, I'm a little bit behind because I got a lot of projects, but I wanted to do this so we could get on schedule. I wanted to mention something else. I'm looking forward to Divorced Sisters. I haven't seen anything about the show coming back on. I don't think that there's a release date at this point, or if they're really going to continue the show. And I'm going to look into that when I'm done here. But I'm looking forward to that. This right here, this thing with Sistas, I don't know. Now, this new person that they're going to bring in, I saw somebody that kind of looked like her at the hospital, I think in the previews, But we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. So far, my final observation is I don't know what I'm getting ready to do with this show. Not this show. I'll always be here. And did you see what I saw? But I don't know what I'm going to do with Sistas, guys. So give me a minute to figure it out. And I'll definitely let you guys know. That's it. I'll see you in the next video.